Hello, welcome to the grounds crew. My name is Alex,
Alexander.
And this is Paul.
and today we are going to be talking about our free agent predictions for the starting pitchers in baseball. First up is, Michael Wacha signed a 3-year, $51 million deal to stay with the Royals. So don't need to predict where he's going to go because he's already there. So the first guy we're going to really talk about on the list is Corbin Burns. Paul, he's was on your Orioles last year. What are your thoughts on where he's going to go?
Oh, to keep him. Oh, to keep him. Uh, he definitely made a big impact on our team. We need him. I would love to see him stay there. 2.92 ERA. I don't know what it's going to take to keep him there. There is still hope that he can stay there. I don't know that we have enough the rest of our pitchers are much younger, and I don't know that we have enough to keep a good record this coming year, without him there because we need his stability. So I'm really hoping that we can keep him. I don't know that we will, but I hope that we do. That's my prediction that we can try to keep him.
Well, according to sources, unnamed and anonymous, the Orioles are going to try to keep him and try their very best to keep him. However, he is going to be the most sought after pitcher in free agency. He's top guy out there for pitching, and everybody's going to want him. So I don't know what he's looking for. If he's just going to follow the money, then it may be a big market team that gets him. We're again talking. I don't think Dodgers are going to go after him because they already have a lot of good pitching and they got other guys that they have their eyes on. Not that they won't entertain, but I know the Red Sox are interested in him. The Mets are obviously interested in him. The Yankees are interested in him. Of course, the Orioles want to keep him. But I do want to refer to something that I think it was very interesting that you brought up yesterday, Alex, and that was, what if the Yankees lose Soto, but instead they get, and I'll let you say it,
Instead,
who they could possibly pick up. There was a group of guys that they could pick up for about the same money that they were going to give Soto. If
oh,
they
that was
lose,
Paul's. That was Paul's.
oh, that was Paul's. That was you, Paul.
What are you talking about? Oh,
Yesterday we were
the four
discussing
guys.
what would happen. Yeah, that was you. If the Yankees lose Soto, they could spend the same amount of money and wind up picking up what group? Why don't you tell what that group of free agents
Oh,
that
I'd
they
have to
could
look
go
it up
get
again.
instead of Soto?
It was Anthony and Corbin and Christian, one more. I don't remember who the fourth one was, but it was those three at least. And
Yeah, it was four guys that could wind up getting for the same money, and it was like, well, wait a minute, that looks like a pretty good deal if they
yeah,
can wind up.
I don't remember who the
They
fourth one
really
was
need
off
another
the top of
pitcher.
my head.
If they want to if the Yankees want to be serious about trying to make a run at the Dodgers in the World Series again, they're going to need another pitcher. And Corbin Burns would be the guy. I mean, really, if he really enjoyed his time in Baltimore, he might just stay there. So my prediction on that would be Baltimore or Yankees. But then again, the Mets, they're going to spend a lot of money this offseason. So
It's Willie Shorts, third baseman.
yes, that's right. That's right. It was
Yeah, that's
Adam,
the fourth guy.
Willie Adam.
So with Corbin Burns, I think the Yankees are going to land Soto, even though my Red Sox are trying really hard, which I appreciate. I
They
just don't
are.
think it's going to happen. I'd be very happy if it does, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think he is a New
Saw that
York
they were having
Yankee.
meetings.
And since they're going to be spending money on Soto, the Yankees, I do think they will get another pitcher. I do not think it will be Corbin Burns. I think Corbin Burns in 2025 will be a New York Met. I think Steve Cohen's going to pay him a lot of money, and he's going to give him an offer he cannot refuse.
You can't refuse. Sorry, that was terrible.
Just a little bit.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Who
So the
was their
next
top?
guy.
Who was their top pitcher this year? The Mets,
Question. I can't think of that right now. Let me look it up.
because they weren't known for their pitching, were they? They were known more for their bat than their pitching, I believe.
Let me see here.
Well, while you're looking that up, I'll go ahead and introduce the next guy, and that's Blake Snell. And I'll go ahead and talk about him. Blake Snell is there's some interest according to MLB with the Giants, the Padres, and the Rangers, and he's one of these guys again that I personally see staying there with the Giants. I don't know that he's going to go anywhere else. He's so good to that team. They need him. And I just can't imagine them being able to give him up. So I think they're going to try to keep him as much as they can. If he doesn't stay there, though, I could see him going. I'm going to go Rangers, just to slip over to the American League. What did you find out there about Mets?
So their rotation consisted of Jose Quintana, Luis Severino, Sean Manaea, Adrian Hauser, and Tyler McGill. And Luis Severino and Sean Manaea are both free agents this year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So that's a great possibility for them to pick up Burns.
Yeah. I think just going back, I think Burns is a New York Met, and I think that Blake Snell stays right where he is, and he is a San Francisco Giant on a longer contract than they gave him the first go around.
Okay.
Blake Snell. Well, he threw a no-hitter this year. That was interesting. He got a little bit of a rough start, and then a couple injuries, and then came out strong to finish off the season. He won a Cy Young last year. I can't even believe that, because a couple of years. All right, so he had that breakout year with Tampa Bay, and then the guy pulls him in a very important playoff game, and he was like, "You don't trust me?" And he's like, "Forget it, I'm not staying here," and wound up going to the Padres, and that was so over there. And now he's on the Giants. So the problem with him predicting that he might stay with the Giants is he's opted out of his contract. So he had a 2-year deal, but he opted out. So he's again testing free agency. I guess hoping with the good strong ending he had to the season that he might be able to get a better deal, being he came off a Cy Young. He had a no-hitter this year. He had a really good second half. So he's hoping to land something longer than just sticking out another 1-year deal, which I don't blame him for that. But I have a feeling he's going to be moving on from the Giants. The Rangers are showing interest. I don't know. He was a guy a couple of years ago that he went to the beginning of the season already started before he signed. So I don't know. I think that there's just this little bit of a hesitation on teams because you don't know if you're going to get, Cy Young Blake Snell, or you're going to get off year Blake Snell, because he can have a bad off year too. So
That's why I think teams weren't as interested as they were this season, because he has had those tendencies to be really good or yikes kind of years. So, but this past season, he had a 3.12 ERA in 104 innings pitched, which is very good. So
yeah,
I think he is going to get the contract he's looking for, and I think the San Francisco Giants are going to keep him.
yeah. Perhaps they give him a longer deal, and yeah, I could see that happening.
Alrighty, so the next guy we are going to talk about is Max Fried. Max Fried, who is the starting pitcher for the Atlanta Braves. He had a 3.25 ERA and 174 and a third innings pitched. So, Paul, you want to start us off? Where do you think Max Fried is going?
Well, I know that the Orioles have already talked with him and they're very interested in him. And I sort of like that. He would not be as good as a Corbin Burns, but if we could somehow keep Corbin Burns plus get him, how lovely that would be. I don't think that would happen. I think we're going to end up with one or the other. But yeah, I would love to see him come to my Orioles, even though that's not what the MLB is picking for him. I would love to see that happen. So that's where I'm going to try to hope that he comes. And again, I reference to that the Braves have always seemed to make good pitchers, and so I would love to get a pitcher come from the Braves and come over to the Orioles.
Alrighty, sir, your thoughts.
Well, he's one of the top pitchers available in free agency this year. I would put him ahead of Blake Snell, um, in spite of
Wow.
Blake Snell, Cy Young, and his no hitter, just because when he could have that off year, and Max Fried has been pretty consistent. He's a homegrown Brave. He's came up through their farm system, and he's only known playing for the Braves. He's a tremendous fielder. I think he's got several Gold Gloves at the position. This year, let's see, what has he got this year? 3.25 ERA in 29 starts, and that apparently is his highest ERA since 2019, and it's pretty good. So the Braves are not going to go lie down and just disappear. We got Ronald Acuna Jr. coming back, hopefully, and I believe they're going to want to make a run at, postseason. And to do that, they're going to need pitching. He's a homegrown talent. I think he re-signs. I think that the Braves will re-sign him, probably three-year deal, something like that, maybe 4 years with incentives, something like that. But I think he's going to stay an Atlanta Brave. They need pitching, and I don't think they have one. He's their own homegrown talent, and I don't think they're going to let him walk.
I disagree, and I love it when that happens. The Atlanta Braves are known for offering homegrown discounts. You can see that. My apologies. You can see that in the Ronald Acuna contract. He is getting severely underpaid, and I think the Braves will offer him a severely underpaid contract, which I do not think he accepts. Instead, I'm trying. I'm trying to get hopeful. New front office this year. Well, technically last year too, but still, new front office. They're trying to do things. I think Craig Breslow brings Max Fried to Boston.
Wow.
And that is kind of biased. I will admit that, but I did see a report that the Red Sox were looking for a lefty starting pitcher in free agency. Max Fried is that perfect fit. I think the Red Sox do what they can to make it happen.
Wow, that'd be big.
It'd be huge.
That'd be huge.
It's weird. The Red Sox are a major market team, and yet I'm not hearing a whole lot of noise coming from Boston into all these, like, the major players that are out there. Yeah, I mean, they just had meetings with Juan Soto, but that would be interesting if they could start to build here and get the likes of Soto and Max Fried and start to put some kind of a team together.
They
I'd
have
like
the
to see it
money.
happen because I want to see some competition with the Yankee Red Sox series, a rivalry rather. So
Yeah, no, I mean, I would love to see the Red
Wow.
Sox Yankees go back to what it used to be, but it just in recent years it hasn't really. Basically, since 2018, it hasn't really been a fight.
yeah,
And this next guy on our list, I think the Red Sox will also get. I think it's a happy reunion, and this guy played for Boston in 2018. He had this past season, he had a 3.8 ERA and 170 and two-thirds innings. And I believe Nathan Eovaldi is coming back to Boston.
man.
I think the Red Sox are really going to be active this offseason, at least with pitching. Even though their pitching was better than anticipated last year, I think Craig Breslow steps up the ante, and I think they get both Fried and Evaldi. Paul?
I get worried about pitchers when they get to the age of 35. That's getting up there, and I know everybody starts talking about Verlander and uh, Kershaw, and I get that. Okay, I know that there are some that have been very good past 35, but the sport is getting younger and younger and younger all the time, and um, that's the only part that worries me, especially coming to the Red Sox, because that American League East is getting younger and younger and younger. Even the Yankees are getting younger, which is rare. I mean, usually they're not young. Um, but and the Orioles one time this year had the youngest infield in the MLB. So I that would be my only fear of him going there. Um, but I don't think he's going back to the Rangers, definitely. So
No,
yeah.
he declined a $20 million option.
Oh, he already did. Okay.
Yeah, he
Yep.
declined a $20 million option, which I don't even think he'll get 20 million. So I
I
think
don't
he
either.
really just wants to leave Texas.
Okay. I didn't realize he had already done that. Wow. Um. Okay. So yeah, I don't think he's getting 20 million, no matter where he goes. Uh. I don't think he's going to the Orioles. I seriously doubt it. Red Sox. Yeah, I'm fine with that. If he does that reunion there.
I could also see him going to Atlanta as a Max Fried replacement. But I do think he's going to Boston. What are your thoughts?
I like the possibility of Boston. It kind of all right. So he declined a $20 million player option. That's a lot of money.
Yeah.
So I don't know that people are going to pay much more than that for him.
I wouldn't give him that contract.
No, 35 years old. But I don't know. According to MLB, Braves are interested, Rangers are interested, Orioles are interested. My son's a little too pricey for me. I think we'll see him as a Kansas City on the Kansas City Royals.
They're up and coming. I can see it. Alrighty. So the next guy on our list had a great year this year. A 3.17 ERA and 162 innings pitched. And that is Jack Flaherty, who just won a World Series with the Dodgers. I think he stays a Dodger. He wants to be there. I believe he's even from that area. I think the Dodgers give him the money he deserves.
Agreed. I
Agreed.
have nothing else to say there. Agreed.
Oh, that was short. Okay. Um, Shane Bieber
Oof.
of the Guardians. Now, I do want to point out something because I saw something. I thought I saw a stat that kind of intrigued me, and this is why I do not understand WAR. I don't understand that stat at all, and I probably never will. But so this season he got hurt. He only played in 2 games, but in those 2 games he pitched 12 innings and didn't give up a single run. Yeah, his WAR is 2.8 on the year. Any thoughts on that? Because I don't understand that.
I don't get that. I guess you have to have so much involved in the team in order to bring up your war as well. I that's the only thing I can guess. I don't know.
I mean, he
Well,
only played 2 games. How does he almost have a 3 WAR?
Yeah, I don't know. That's a great question.
the mere mention of his name possibly pitching scared the other team so much he got an extra win.
They made a disturbance in their undergarments. Alrighty, where do we think he's going, Paul?
How long's he been with the Guardians?
Full career, which I can look up how long his career is.
No, that's okay. I'm gonna go ahead and keep him there. But that's a team that is still uh, they're in my opinion they're just 1 or 2 steps away from being a World Series winner, and there's no reason necessarily to get rid of him unless he's a threat. What kind of injury did he have? Do you know?
Not off the top of my head, but 7 seasons. 7 seasons.
Okay. Because I mean, was he? Is he? Is it obviously it's not a career-ending thing? But is it something that you recover well from? I mean, that's the thing with me. That would make a big difference, and I just don't keep up with the Guardians enough to know. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep him there.
Tommy John.
Oh boy. See, that is okay. Tommy John used to be a career-ending practically thing, and nowadays people can have 2 or 3 of those surgeries and still be a great pitcher. So yes,
And be
definitely.
better.
I know, I know. That's the amazing fact. Yes, I say he stays with the Guardians.
And just so you know, he is expected to make up to 16 months to recover, and he had the surgery in April. So that leaves His return is slated for August next season.
Oh,
He's going to stay. He's the Indians. I'm sorry, Guardians are going to sign him. I can't stand that new name. I like the old tradition of anyway. They have too much money invested in this surgery and everything else. Um, I saw the possibility of an incentive contract, 2-year contract with incentives, depending on how well he does and all that could be, potential more money. I see him staying there because of the investment that they've made in him with the surgery and everything else. Yeah, that's my
Yeah, I don't think many teams would want to give a pitcher a big contract with him not even returning till possibly August, September type area.
exactly.
right.
So, if anything, I think Shane Bieber is at least kind of chained to at least for next season. So I think he'll at least sign a 1-year deal with Cleveland. But I do think he returns there. Um, Real quick, because I think we can get this one out of the way really fast. Um, Clayton Kershaw, Dodger for life.
Yeah, yes.
Most
If he was
definitely.
going to leave, it would have been last offseason. Because I know the Rangers were just coming off of a World Series. He's from that area. There was interest to bring him over there. He had interest in going, but he stayed with the Dodgers, and now I think he's a Dodger for life. Okay,
I agree.
now that that's out of the way,
I
Justin
agree.
Verlander, who had a very rough year this year, coming off of injury. So, in 90 and a third innings, he had a 5.48, but the previous year, he had a 3.22 ERA and 162 and a third innings. So he is 42. He'll probably sign a 1-year deal somewhere. Now, Paul, where do you think he will go?
Well, considering that our last podcast was about an old timer, I think it's time to retire or do the old John Smoltz and go to the bullpen and do some bullpen work and maybe 1 or 2 innings per game instead of trying to be a starter. Um, that's that's the way I feel. I don't care what team necessarily he does that with. I just feel like that 42. Again, I mean, if I think 35 is old, then what do you think I feel 42? So,
And how
uh,
old are you again?
don't even go there. I'm talking about the sport of baseball. Uh, so, I that's my personal opinion. Yes, could he still have a few good games? Absolutely, and that's why I'm saying I think he still has a few good innings left, definitely. And I would have no problem with him doing a little bit of what Smoltz did and go to the bullpen and do some relief pitching here near the end of his career.
Do you think he stays with Houston or he goes?
That's the part that I don't know. Was he there during all their problems?
No,
I didn't think so.
he came in.
You know,
And
I
plus, he
will
was on the other side of the field. So, I
I
mean,
will say to that though, I think baseball has forgiven that quicker than they have other things. I don't know why. I mean, why do they hold on to Pete Rose for eternity? I don't know. Um, but yet other
may he
things
rest
they
in
let.
peace.
Yeah, exactly. And yet,
Uh, just real quick, this portion of the program is brought to you by DraftKings. DraftKings, crown your king. DraftKings.
We are
um,
not sponsored by DraftKings, by the way.
and I
Just
mean,
need to put that out there.
to me, one of the worst debacles ever in baseball was Jose Canseco and everything that he did. And so I don't know if Justin will stay there or not. And that's the part that I don't really care where he goes. I because I if he changed gears and went to a reliever, there's a lot of teams that could handle a middle reliever. And I really think that's where he ought to head. Now, can he handle that? I don't know. I don't know if he has the personality to handle that. He's a strong-willed guy. I mean, he's not a guy that's gonna, you're gonna have to. He's not gonna be one that you're gonna bring in with a man on first and second. You're gonna have to bring him in for the beginning of the eighth inning or something like that because he needs to have control. And I don't mean that as ugly as it sounds, but I do. Because he needs to have control from the beginning of the inning. He doesn't need to come in and have a guy on first and second or something like that. He needs to be the beginning of the inning, set up his own scenario because that's what he's used to. And I know a lot of middle relief doesn't do that. Typically, they do come in with some weird scenario of bases loaded or something funky, but that's not what I'm talking about for him. He's more maybe a setup guy or maybe a closer or something like that. Um, so anyway, that's just my opinion. Um, and I know a lot of people would totally disagree with me as they would say, "Oh no, he's a starter for life." Well, everybody thought John Smoltz would be a starter for life, and the man became a very good relief pitcher. So that's just my thought.
Everyone also thought Tyson would win the fight, but here we are.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
Um,
My opinion on this, Verlander. Again, I'm going to say the investment made is probably means he's staying with Houston. What I know about the man, I would pretty much bet that he will never go into a relief role. He's got too much pride. He'll retire before he does that. Um,
Agreed.
and he's a pretty stubborn guy. Big smile on the screen, big smile. Baseball loves to see it and have him talk all cheery on the camera, and then he'll turn around and yell at a kid off the camera. So he's not going to do a relief role. I think they probably give him another year. I mean, at his age, he's not going to get more than a 1 year deal somewhere. So I think he stays right where he is.
I love it when I disagree. I agree with the fact that he will stay a starter. I don't think he wants to go to the bullpen, and I don't think he'll entertain the idea of teams asking him to. Although I do think that may be the correct move, I don't think he'll do it. Uh, I think it's reunion season. I think it's reunion season.
Oh
I
boy,
think Evaldi goes back to the Red Sox, and I think Justin Verlander goes back to Detroit, where it all started. I
you're the most
think
nostalgic
next.
person I've ever met.
Would Detroit say no to Justin Verlander? Come on.
I don't know that they could, to be honest.
You're telling me, even as a five starter, Detroit would say no?
Boy, could you imagine him in middle relief at Detroit, though? Wow.
Couldn't imagine him agreeing to it.
I know, but I mean, if he would be willing, could you imagine him in middle relief coming in after Skubal? That would be that would be crazy.
That would be dangerous.
You ain't kidding.
I wouldn't want to see that.
No,
I
it
wouldn't
would
want to
be
face that.
that'd be awful. I mean, it would just be crazy. So that's what I'm saying. I agree with both of you because I mean, I've never known him at that level that you guys did, getting his autograph and trying to and stuff like that. But
Well, we didn't.
no, but I'm just saying I didn't know that part of him. But man, if you
The
could get somebody to
children.
get past their pride, what a great asset he could be to a team. And if he only knew what he could do for Detroit, he would take them to the World Series in a heartbeat.
I don't know about
Oh,
World Series, but he would help them get to back to the playoffs. And sir, what you missed is I said Verlander was making a reunion in Detroit.
Maybe. Sorry, I had to get some uh, statistics from my statistician.
and that's Bo the dog that is the statistician.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was covering for me while I went to do that.
Alrighty, we got two more guys on the list. We
Okay.
have Max Scherzer.
Boy,
Uh, he didn't play a lot, but played decently this past season. Had a 3.95 ERA in 43 and a third innings. The previous year, he had a 3.77 in 152 and two thirds. Paul, where do you think he's going?
Now, see, even though he is 40 years old, he's still keeping that ERA down like crazy. And I like to see that ERA below 4,
Hmm.
particularly with a 40-year-old. That's a big deal. Where all has he been? He's been around a little bit.
Alrighty.
So
So he
that
started in Arizona.
okay.
After that was Detroit, then Washington, Dodgers, Mets, Rangers. Let me see if I actually got that right. Hold on. I feel like I got that
Okay,
right.
so he is presently at the Rangers, and
Hmm.
he's only been there just a couple of years, right? Yeah, at
Uh,
best, he's
he
only been
he
there
went to the Rangers in 2023.
23. Okay, okay.
Trade
All right.
deadline.
So I'm gonna put him almost at the same spot that I feel about Verlander, though. He'd make a great middle reliever. Um,
I don't think he's there yet, though.
I don't either. Not
I
just because of that ERA. I don't think he's there. I agree with you. But I don't know that Rangers is the spot for him. Oh, where do I see him going though? I would say Brewers or Braves, one of those two spots.
I like the Braves. I like the Braves for him. I do. But those Yankees,
Oh, no. I wish they weren't even in that list.
I don't like it. I don't like it. But I think the Yankees would pay more than the other teams for him, even on a 1 year deal. I think that's why he's a New York Yankee next season.
He's not going to the Yankees. Yankees are not in the market for a 40-year-old pitcher.
I think they're in the market for starting pitching. And
Yeah, but
I think he would fit the role as a back end rotation guy for the Yankees. And I think they signed him to a 1 year deal.
and to go to the point of middle relief, Scherzer and Verlander, they're not the kind of guys that are going to go and try to stay in the game in a relief role. They'd retire before they would do that. Scherzer, 40 years old, he does struggle with back problem. When he's on, he's on. But I don't know how much longer he could do this to his own body. So
Are
I
you
would say
saying retirement?
no. Almost. In fact, Verlander's almost retirement as well. Um, but I think that for the teams that are showing interest in him, I don't think the Yankees are going to pay a lot of money to. I don't even think they're going to go after him. They're trying to, they don't want to go out and make a mistake on a guy that's 40 years old and have him out for 6 months of the season, and you know, when the season's only 7 months, something like. Well, anyway, I don't see that happening. Um, I could see him shoring, like in a lineup like Kansas City or. The Brewers are showing interest in him, so my prediction is Max Scherzer will be on the Brewers. I don't think he goes to the Braves or the Yankees. The Dodgers are not interested. So my prediction is Brewers.
That. Alrighty, and the last guy we are talking about will be a rookie coming into the 2025 season, and that is because he has played so far his entire career in Japan, and that is Roki Sasaki. I hope I said that right. Um, he's played 4 seasons in Japan, and in those 4 seasons, he has a 2.02 ERA. I think he's gonna look at each team and the pitches that these teams give more than how much money they're offering. But money, I still think, will at least play a little factor. I don't think he goes to San Diego, even though they're one of the favorites. I don't think he goes to the Dodgers either. I think he goes to the playoff New York Mets.
Dodgers.
Okay. If the bats in Japan are as good as the bats of the Japanese players that are here, and this guy has a 2.02 ERA in 4 seasons, then he is one amazing pitcher. I can't see any team not wanting this guy. I don't care who they are. I mean, the A's, the White Sox, the Marlins. I don't care. I mean, I think this guy has an opportunity to literally say, who do I fit in with? What pitching coach makes sense to me? who do I have who do I have rapport with? Who have I played with? Who has been to Japan to even look at me? What teams have even paid attention to my career? So I'm not even going to predict the team because to me, I think it's all up to him. I really do. I don't know that any particular team, because I agree with you. He has no reason to follow the money yet. Absolutely no reason whatsoever. Um, but any team that wouldn't take this guy is a moronic team. That they obviously don't care because this guy has the potential to be one of the top pitchers in this decade. I mean, the guy's already proven himself in Japanese pitching, which is huge. So, wow. I do know I'm an Orioles fan. I know they've already talked to him. Whether he fits there, I do not know. But I would be over the moon if we got this guy. And I do agree the teams that are mentioned here, Dodgers, Padres, Mets, and Yankees, I don't think any of those are his team. I really don't. I don't know that he needs to go to the big spot to start. Now, will he end up at one? Probably, but he doesn't need to start there. He can start anywhere. It doesn't matter. And do a 1 to 2 year deal, and then how old is he, by the way? Do we have an age on him? No, but
He
I,
is 23 years old.
23. Okay, so yeah, I mean he can go anywhere and start, and in no time flat, he'll have a great, great, great deal at a major team. And yeah, I'm not going to predict the team. I'm going to predict that he gets to choose the team that he wants, and he is going to make that team better no matter where he ends up. And I just look forward to seeing him. I think we're going to talk a lot about him this year because he's going to be a great pitcher.
I just rethought my answer. Sir, I'm pulling something out of your playbook. I'm changing my answer.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I
I'm not a
really I just thought of, I think probably the perfect place for him. Somewhere where pitchers just seem to always do well. Somewhere where they just pump out pitching. He's
Atlanta,
going he's going to Milwaukee.
Milwaukee.
I feel like he's destined to be a Milwaukee Brewer. They're not all about the money. He's not all about the money. He wants to go to a place where he will be best and a place that's going to be competitive as well. And I think that's Milwaukee Brewer.
Okay then.
Any last thoughts, or do you think we're good?
I think we've hit everybody.
That's everyone. Alrighty. This has been the Grounds Crew podcast. Please like, subscribe, comment, follow us on our social medias. We are on Instagram and TikTok. And we will see you next time. Good night, because I'm going to bed.